I see everyone on YouTube trying to make fast food better, so let's give it a try. This is the Filet O Fish, but my version. We're going to start by let's examine a Filet O Fish. You know, I've gotten into them later in my life. I never really ate them prior. I used to work at McDonald's when I was a teen. The bun is nice and soft. I know they steam them. You can see the fish is flaky, so it's not like a paste that they make a fish stick out of and fry. It looks like it's fairly decent quality. The tartar sauce is good. There just is stuff to improve on. We're going to start making tartar sauce first. There's my cod fillet. It's just standard store-bought cod. Get fresh if you can. It'll taste better. But my version of tartar sauce is maybe a little different than some people's. I like to keep it fairly simple. So it's going to be dill pickles diced up. Try to get a fairly fine dice. Go through, chop them up a little more. You don't want huge pieces, but you do want a little bit of bite in that sauce. Throw those into a bowl, and then we're going to add in mayo, about half a cup. I like to just eyeball it. It's, sauces to me, you got to base them on taste, not necessarily specific measurements. So mix that all together. I like to throw in about a teaspoon of Dijon. Mix that all up. Give it a taste at this point. I like to then add about a teaspoon worth of lemon juice. You don't have to. It doesn't add a ton to it, but it does add a nice little brightness from the acidity. Let that sit in your fridge for maybe an hour to really develop. At that point, I'm going to make the beer batter. That's how we're going to cook the fish. 200 grams of flour, salt it. I'm going to add about a teaspoon or, just like a little tiny bit of baking powder, paprika, garlic powder, and then whisk that together just to incorporate it. I'm going to also salt the fish a little further here just to help pull out residual moisture as I make this. I'm going to use Sapporo. It's a really nice quality light beer. Some people use heavier beers. I think it works better with a light beer. And you're going to just whisk that. Try to avoid making it too foamy as you pour it in. It's hard to do, but you want to try to limit the foam as much as possible. And you're going for kind of the texture here of like a light glue. Think of Elmer's glue if it was a little thinner. I know that's a weird way to compare it, but I don't know what else to compare it to at the moment. My brain's not really pulling anything out. Salt that a little more, and then that's the texture you're looking for. When it goes into the bowl, you want to see it coat the fish nicely, but not be like heavy-duty paste layers. Like that's exactly what you're looking for. Like if your thumb can wipe it off, try not to, but that's what you want. You don't want it so thick. My oil should have been a little hotter here, so error on my part, but it is still fine. It's going to turn out great. Keep moving it around if you can. That way it doesn't stick. You see I had a little stick issue there in the beginning, but I fixed that. I do like to baste the side that's not cooking just to make sure it's fully cooked and brown, but there, 2 or 3 minutes later, it looks beautiful. You want that nice golden brown color. The fish is going to cook very easily inside, so 3 minutes at most, you're going to be okay. Salt it right when it comes out of the oil. It'll really hold that. As I said earlier, McDonald's does steam their buns. So I'm going to use a potato roll here, and I'm going to steam this for about 30 seconds. I have a nice steamer basket. Any way you can steam, go ahead and do it. I'm just going to throw it over a pot of boiling water here, and let that steam for about 30 seconds. That gives them that nice filet of fish touch. Now I'm going to use white American cheese. I think it's a little milder than the yellow. McDonald's uses half a piece of cheese because they think that's all it needs. But I think with the white American, you could use a full piece. Tartar on the top, fish right on top of that cheese, and then just crown it with that top bun. Look at how much nicer that looks. The proportions of fish to bun are way better. I'm going to cut these in half just to show you the cross sections, and then we'll taste these. But I already know mine's going to win. Also use a sharp knife because cutting through bread and fish and all that kind of stuff, you don't want to mangle it. But look at that. It's flaky. It's juicy. The proportions are right. The McDonald's, there's bites there you get. It's only bread. That being said, the fish fillet at McDonald's is not a bad sandwich. It's fresh. It's nice. It's one of the better options you can get. But the crunch of the beer batter versus however they bread it and fried it at McDonald's is just a little more rewarding. The tartar was nicer. The cheese was a great touch. The fish fillet, that bite is not bad, but the winner is 100% beer-battered fresh cod. Easy to make, your own tartar. Enjoy.